Hey there, church. It almost feels like we should be saying happy spring. I hope you've been enjoying these lovely days that we've been experiencing. We actually are on the precipice of a spring of sorts. That's the season of Lent. Lent is the word that comes from an old English word meaning spring. So Lent is the season when in the church we prepare for celebrating the resurrection of Jesus. It's a season that very much points to the cross and how God bore our sin in his body on the cross, and Jesus, entering into our brokenness, our pain, all of the ways that life is not to the full. And so during the season of Lent, it's an opportunity for us to take stock of our lives, to be especially honest, to look inside of ourselves and acknowledge our own brokenness, to look at our patterns of life and see that in the way that we're living, we maybe are not living in all of the ways that make for abundance of life, that really come out of the dignity of the children of God that we are. And so in Christchurch this spring, this Lent, we are going to be taking up the practice of Sabbath. Now, Sabbath is a word that maybe we've heard before and have associated it with going to worship, and for a number of us, perhaps Sabbath is associated with shops being closed and fewer activities and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to look at what Sabbath means in its ancient biblical roots for Jews and for Christians. And we're also going to ask, what does it mean for us to practice Sabbath today? Not in a way that's legislated about all the things that you can't do, but more positively, what does Sabbath open us to? So we're going to look for 5 weeks at this, starting on February 26th, the first Sunday in Lent, and then asking, what is the power of spiritual practice, those things that we build into our lives that help us to become shaped by God and open to and available to God? What is the gift of this? And then from there, we're going to look at Sabbath practice. It's essentially about stopping, resting, delighting, and worshiping. So I encourage you to be part of our Sunday morning worship, where we'll have shortened services followed by some group time around videos that help us to come deeper into understanding of Sabbath and its gift, but also to ask questions with one another. How can I actually bring more Sabbath into my life and observe this? Not because it's something I'm supposed to do, but because it's a gift that opens us to delights and to rest and to God's goodness. We will be worshiping on Ash Wednesday, which is February 22nd. So I encourage you to share in that service that is kind of the trailhead to the season of Lent. We're also going to be getting together for a potluck meal on February 25th as part of our Journey of Promise. We're in the phase of the journey where we're asking, who are we now? We asked previously, who have we been? Now we're asking, who are we now? And especially, what's our experience of church been in the past few years? Why have we kept up with church? How has church changed? What have been some of the gifts? Yeah, it's been a struggle in some ways, but there also have been wonderful ways in which God has been at work, teaching us, shaping us, and doing good things in and through us for the sake of our neighbors, for our mission. So, church, we don't get to choose a lot of things in life, and sometimes it feels really great, like a 67-degree day yesterday. Other times it doesn't feel so great at all. But we continue to be people who live by God's mercy, and a community grounded in loving God, sharing relationships, serving others from the heart of Christ.